sunflowers are so pretty. I just don't know what to do with them. I mean, like, do I take them inside? Good morning. Good morning, y'all. It is Wednesday, June the 17th, I think. And I got here just in time for the rain this morning, it looks like. Which the garden desperately needs some non-water hose treatment. Cannot believe this lemon cucumber, y'all. Alright, let's get in the garden and see what's going on this morning. See if there's anything I need to take care of before this rain hits, because we're going to have some storms. It says for the next 3 days, so let's go check it out in here. So I was looking at my beans here in this bed, and I don't know if they're turning kind of light green or they're not getting deep green because of the variety, or if there is a nitrogen deficiency. It could just be the variety. You know, these are, I'm just letting these go to see what happens here, but it could be this variety, which is Blue Lake Pole, or it could be deficiency, because as you can see, some of the leaves, just a few of them are dark, and they were dark at one point in time. A lot of damage down here. After this next cycle of rain, I am going to sprinkle with diatomaceous earth. And here comes the rain. Okay. Let's see what I can get accomplished before it gets too heavy, because like I said, we're supposed to get severe thunderstorms for the next 3 days. Trimmed up my tomatoes yesterday. Got them looking good, but I see one that has fallen over here. I'm gonna go get my tie tape and I'll tie this one up. Where are you going, bro? Let me just lay him back down. I don't want to break him. I'll go tie him up in a minute. Our potatoes are doing fabulous. So we've been cleaning up this debris. Chris has done a great job. He's worked really hard to get this done so that we could get this part started for our high tunnel. And it looks like the fire is still, I still see flames over there from last night, even with the rain we had last night. Look at this okra, y'all. It is just amazing. The growth. So we took all the straw out of this bed, added the compost, weeded everything, and look at this growth on all of the plants. It's amazing. And I have some great growth going on in the greenhouse with the okra that I planted in there. So, so I will be getting that out here soon. This little Dances with Smurfs. I mean, look at this one. These were planted at the same time in the greenhouse. That's just the difference of planting in the ground versus keeping in your container or whatever the case may be. So this one was planted out here, what, a week and a half ago? 2 weeks ago, maybe? Look at the difference. I have 2 more Dances with Smurfs where my broccoli was. So, and again, I've got these 3 volunteer tomato plants. I'm just going to leave them. Let's just see what they are. Over here where we pulled out the broccoli, I added the Boxwood Basil You know, I bought one container of that Boxwood Basil and I split it up into 5 different plants. I've got one in the green stock at home. These 2 are the Dances with Smurfs. This one is Sunrise Bumblebee. I know you're not supposed to plant hot peppers around certain things, but this is a Tabasco pepper. It'll be fine. And this is a curly purple basil. And of course my Cherokee purple with the pretty fruit it's set. And I noticed last night that I told Mattia I have a couple actually. That's the biggest one, so he must have been first, but I got a couple back in there. So that's really exciting too. Here comes the rain. Everything's looking good over here. This San Marzano is finally topped the stake that I have for it. Peppers are growing great. I cleaned off some pests on the eggplant, but it didn't really do a lot of damage. They were just hanging out. Cucumbers look good. Oh, I did this last night too. I harvested the celery and the Swiss chard. Yes, I should have harvested my celery like a month ago. Or not a month ago, a couple weeks ago. But it's still edible, so I'm going to use it and make beef stew today. Especially since it's going to be rainy. So I'm going to make beef stew and cornbread. And then see if I can figure some kind of recipe out with a Swiss chard. Because no one took me up on the offer to take that. So, their loss. More potatoes here. Last night, these tomato plants were looking so pitiful. The sun had just gotten to them. They will survive though. I mean, that Golden Jubilee I planted did the same thing. And I put a curly leaf basil there instead of a boxwood basil like I had originally planned to do. But these candy cane peppers are looking great. Our volunteer iceberg lettuce will harvest that this week too. And these green beans are growing great in both of the beds here. And so I think these are golden midget watermelons, and that's not a Kajari melon either. I think that's a noodle bean. Maybe these are. No, they kind of look, because they don't look like these, and these are definitely Kajari melons. So I may have just mislabeled, and that's golden midget watermelons, which is probably going to be too heavy for this trellis, but we'll see. Artichoke's still doing great. Okay, our beans, we finally have our beans taken off in this bed. And again, some of them are turning a little yellowy green. So I'm going to have to get some fish emulsion, which I have, and mix some up after this rain and make sure that they all have what they need as far as nitrogen, because I believe that's a nitrogen deficiency. Could be something else. But look at this. Go pumpkin. This pumpkin over there is loving that trellis life. This okra is doing great. This is where I planted the Charleston Gray watermelons that I picked up at Home Depot Sunday. And the wee bee little pumpkins, they are just thriving over here. And yet last night I trained some of the the vines on my plants to go the ways that I want them to go. So if you ever do plant watermelon, squash, pumpkin, or anything that kind of vines, you can train the plant to grow the way you want it to grow. You just have to do it almost every day. You can see over here with this pumpkin, there are 2 vines coming out. And they will wrap up in my watermelon if I let them, but I can train them. I even thought about training them to come this way, to come around this way. So I may end up doing that. And here is our cherry tomatoes. Abram made a cute video last night. I'll figure out how to share it here at the end, about our trellises in the garden and what trellises do. So it was really cute. He misnamed some of the plants, but that's okay. He's so sweet. And I had to cut off some of the zucchini that did not pollinate. And like I said, I'm letting this go now. I'm not going to be pollinating by hand anymore on my zucchini. There's so much fruit still coming that as long as I can, you know, keep the plant healthy, it'll be fine. We got chamomile. And I got to check on the cantaloupe. I mean, I know it's vining, but does it need a trellis? I don't know. So I've got to train those to come this way or figure out which direction I want them to grow, because I definitely don't want them to interfere with the strawberries. The corn is going to love this rain that we're getting. And it is doing great, and so is the new corn that I've planted. It's already coming out and looking pretty too. This row right here. It's starting to come down really hard with the rain now. So that's almost my cue to leave. But I did want to come out and check to make sure there weren't any problem areas. I do need to go tie up that tomato over there. So let me go do that. And then I'm going to head back home and secure my green stalk and make sure everything's good there. And enjoy the rainy day inside, getting chores done. Hopefully I can get all my laundry folded and put up. Y'all have a happy afternoon. Here's an afterthought video. Look how beautiful these bean blossoms are. I'm so excited to see this. They are just everywhere. Grow, baby, grow. Alright, got him all tied up. And I may have put my tomato plants just a little too close this year. I did them about 14 inches apart, knowing that they were going to be crowded. They've really taken off. This soil, I guess, is just the perfect condition for them. And, you know, they say not to grow your beans near your tomatoes just because of the vining aspect, but I'm not having a problem here so far. If you're new to gardening, there is just an extreme sense of pride when you see things that you've labored over coming together, growing, thriving, producing fruit, feeding your family, feeding your friends. There's just a huge sense of pride in that, and it's not anything that I can explain. I guess the closest thing to it that I know is when your children do something great that makes you proud. I mean, it's not quite the same, but very similar. Look at these leaves turning yellow. I didn't notice that earlier. Need to do some checking to see why that's happening. Don't know. Anyway, y'all have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me in the garden this morning. I'll see y'all in the morning. Bye, y'all.